Stephan Hawks here today, Guitar Tabs Daily from Hawk Studio. I'm here today with Matt from EverTune. Nice to meet you, Matt.
Good to meet you.
We literally just met. We were talking about some things, and then we realized, well, this is probably the stuff two guys in our businesses should be talking about. So what do you do, Matt?
My title at EverTune is Director of Market Development. So on a good day, I develop markets.
You develop markets for the EverTune. And what would those markets be? Anyone who wants to be able to play guitar in tune?
Yeah, and so that's one of them, but then really it's our OEM partners that we work with. But yes, EverTune is for everyone. And so sure, it's great. And you know, obviously the metal guys were early adopters, very loyal, very evangelical about what EverTune can bring.
Yep.
I'm working concurrently with the classic rockers just to see and let them know.
You can still do your bends.
Yep, you can absolutely still do your bends, and we'd never suggest that you should put this in your 65 Strat.
But are you trying to take the soul out of the guitar? No, I think that's a big misconception with EverTunes. And I can admittedly say when they came out, I heard about them right when they came out, and I was like, well, yeah, but I'm an expressive guitar player, so it's not for me. But I think that's a big misconception, because as I've actually played them and got to know people with them, you dial them in for how much variance you want. So if you need it locked down to get solid rhythm takes, that's a mode. If you need it to be able to do nice, tasteful bends, that's a mode. And if you just want it to be full out, that's a mode too. So it's like you're not limiting your options.
No, you're not.
You're making your life easier if you want to the degree that you want.
And a lot of producers like to keep the guitars sort of deep in zone 2, as we call it, so that nobody can squeeze a chord out of tune. That's not how I set mine. I set them right on the cusp of where zone 2 crosses over into zone 3, so that all my bends and vibrato happen pretty much instantly.
But there's no unintentional bending, which we're all guilty of.
No, there's not. You can make it very sensitive. It is, the way I set my guitars, it probably would be possible to squeeze them out of tune, but not if I do my job.
Yeah, I'm saying not within the realm of, we're all human beings trying to play a very bizarre instrument. We're not piano and keyboard players.
That's right.
They got it pretty easy in this regard. They got to go out of their way to make stuff be out of tune.
That's right.
And we're just sitting here trying to be solid guitar players, and on our best day, we'd like to think we are, but I take a little help from time to time. We're all, we need it.
And it helps me tremendously, just because you can layer parts in several different octaves. Every chord is going to intonate flawlessly up the neck, and no retuning in between takes.
That's the thing. Like, I literally get takes sometimes with the non-EverTune guitars, and I'm like, do not touch it. Like, I literally have to be like, I don't care if it's perfectly in tune even. You're just doubling it and doing it again. I make a lot of crazy guitar records, lots of layers, guys doing crazy stuff, making them quad track, doubling stuff. They're like, are you sure we can double it? I'm like, well, today you're gonna have to, just once. I know not live, I know you're one guy, but like, I'm requesting people do some pretty wild stuff to build some pretty wild guitar productions, and I would like it to be as easy on them as possible, because there's more layering in guitar production now than ever, and if every time I gotta take the tuning was identical, that's really going to make things go a lot faster, which I think ultimately is the goal. I mean, nobody wants to sit there. I do not want to make money in the studio off of guitars not holding tune. That's not how that's not my life. Like, I tell people all the time, I want this to go as quickly as it can go while being productive, but I don't want to make money off of strife. Oh, I got one part done in 8 hours. I'm raking in the money. It is not like that Scarface meme. That is not. No one feels that way. I want people to be comfortable, and then you get a mood going in the studio, and everyone's like, well, I'm nailing every take. Then you get the confidence. And so people don't understand. If you're not in the trenches making a record, if you're a guitar player in the hot seat and you can just start flying through takes, you'll play better.
Yes.
It's psychological, but it doesn't matter. It's real. You just know, I'm killing it.
It instantly gave me a tremendous amount of confidence. Playing voicings up the neck, in any register, knowing that they're going to be in tune. And then I find in the studio that, like, I will always do the foundation track with an EverTune guitar, but once I've got that, I don't mind picking up one of my whammy guitars.
You've got a bass line.
You've got the absolute foundation.
You know how much you can play with the sound once you've got that solid foundation. Yeah, I know. Yeah, bass oftentimes is that way, where it's like, well, we got this rock solid thing. Now we can't go. Now we know how far we can deviate from kind of the foundation. So yeah, that's great. I mean, you're able to push boundaries. You're able to do chord voicings that maybe are human hands and tiny frets on the 20th fret would have a hard time doing, and it opens up kind of creativity for stuff people are able to do. And again, people go, oh, well, everything's been done on guitar. You're like, well, some things probably haven't been done on guitar because they aren't practical on a traditional guitar, especially on a vintage guitar with a, you know, 3-pole bridges and stuff. So
conceivably, yes.
Yeah, this just, you know, this actually allows you to make something new on a guitar that maybe our human hands and our, you know, not perfectly accurate fretboards and voicings and tensions are able to usually allow us to do, and now you can really do them. So yeah, the innovation is clearly there. This is something we all wish we had control over, but you know, we just nobody ever thought of it until EverTune came along and thought of it. So now, it's obviously very cool.
Now you have control over it.
Done more to innovate on the guitar than most people. I mean, how many people have truly innovated in terms of guitars and guitar bridges, you know? There's a Floyd Rose, and then there's only been a handful of these things that have happened in the history of electric guitar.
I agree. And before I was with EverTune, I was the editor at Guitar Player magazine for 15 years.
Oh, wow.
I did the very first review of the EverTune Bridge, and I've always been a tuning weirdo and an intonation dork, and I just thought, this is what I've been waiting for here. This is amazing. And so in 15 years, I got to review every product under the sun. And so many great ones, but very few that are truly revolutionary.
Yeah.
EverTune was far and away the most revolutionary product that I saw in all my time at guitar.
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, I've used it in the studio, and I've been, you know, again, I'm too busy working on stuff to always think about this, but I've had times in the studio very recently where we weren't getting the riff right without it. And it's not because people don't know how to play guitar, it's just guitars are weird, organic instruments. And I'm handing the guy a guitar half the time. He's not comfortable playing, but it's got the sound. And then I'm expecting him to be able to acclimate to it immediately and play his most complex riff. And the reality is like even with all of the studio magic and wizardry we've got, sometimes you just need to be able to get the complex riff down. And sometimes it's just so you can get a guy to do a take and a double take instead of turning it into an hour-long venture just to get one part in a bridge or something. That it's just an immensely important tool as a studio guy. I have seen the proof of this. You saved the day. You literally saved the day of mine just back in December. You saved me what would have been a trying day. So I cannot thank you enough for this. It's been a great talk.
We're making the world a better place.
Yeah,
one string at a time.
Can't wait to see what you guys come up with next. I'm sure it'll be something I never thought of that I really need, like everything else on Earth. So
yeah, that's right. Well, thank you for the support.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Matt.